and naturally promotes healthy circulation. Call now.
Coming up on First at 4, a new poll reveals Governor Andy Beshear has a strong lead in the governor's race, less than 10 months away from the general election. And former President Donald Trump can soon start posting again to his 2 largest social media accounts.
And snow showers continue to roam the mountains this afternoon, especially in our highest elevations, where they're coming from and when they finally move out. Coming up as First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
We've seen scattered snow showers for much of the day, but those should diminish this evening. You should still watch out for some slick spots, though. Meteorologist Evan Hatter has the latest on this first alert weather day, even already seeing a few school closings for tomorrow.
That's right, Steve. Those running at the bottom of the screen and on our website at WYMT.com. It's right at the top of the page where you can get our latest school closings. And I think we're going to see a few more tomorrow, especially depending on where these snow showers set up. Where they've set up right now into downtown Pikeville. Our Pikeville Medical Center camera showing you, yes, we do have some of those snow showers out there right now. 34 the current temperature as we see some of those snow showers moving out of downtown Pikeville right now. Temperatures are in the middle and upper 30s, except for Wise. You're right at freezing there. Everybody is on the chilly side today, and that is a good 20 to 25 degrees colder than this time yesterday for most people, where it's a little bit closer to Somerset, Louisville, and Lexington, under 10 degrees. And they were already cooling off at this time yesterday as those winds brought in the cold air. Speaking of winds, it is a bit breezy outside, 10 to 15 mile per hour sustained winds with gusts upwards of 20 to 25 at times. We'll continue to watch that as we head through the evening hours. There's the latest on our snow showers working on through the region. You see those beginning to push out of the region, but we're not quite done yet. For tonight, I think we'll see some flurries hanging around with lows in the middle and upper 20s. Details on when some sunshine returns to the forecast in a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. First responders in Pikeville responded to an incident on the river yesterday after a traffic stop became a recovery mission. When a state police trooper made a routine traffic stop near Long John Silver's on US 23, one of the passengers of the car ran from the scene. The man, 51-year-old Daryl Gooseland, went over the riverbank into the water and disappeared. Firefighters with the Pikeville Fire Department say the rescue efforts did not end as they hoped, but the department did everything it could to bring Gooseland out of the water.
First and foremost is to possibly save a life. I mean, no matter what you have, you're always going to have fear, and if you don't have fear, then there's something wrong with you. There is. But whenever it comes to do the job, we just get it done.
We'll hear more about the rescue, which quickly turned into a recovery, coming up tonight at 6. Governor Andy Beshear has a strong lead going into this year's governor's race. Despite a lot of competition in the Republican primary, a new poll released this morning says Governor Beshear has both a strong approval rating and a lead on all the candidates running against him. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has been studying the Mason-Dixon results from Frankfort.
Democrat Andy Beshear won a close race about 3 years ago, but he has a strong lead heading into what is going to be a very important election year for Kentucky, and one that'll have the eyes of the nation looking on as well, as Kentucky is only one of 3 states with a governor's race this year. Now, according to the Mason-Dixon polling and strategy results, Beshear's performance rating is strong among Kentucky voters. 61% approve of the job he's doing, only 29% disapprove, 10% are not sure. Beshear is also leading over all the Republicans running in the primary. Daniel Cameron is leading that field, but if the election were today and Cameron was the Republican nominee, the polling suggests Beshear would beat him by 9 points, 49 to 40%. Cameron leads the other Republican candidates with 39%, but there's actually more people undecided coming in second at 28%. Kelly Craft would be third then at 13%. Cameron's campaign responded in saying in part that he is the only Republican who can win in November. Craft was the first to air television ads, some even airing last year. Coming in third place is then Ag Commissioner Ryan Quarles, then Auditor Mike Harmon. The poll also had a name recognition and a question if you have a favorable, unfavorable, or neutral opinion about the Republican candidates. And in that race also, Cameron was the winner, coming in the most favorable or with the most recognition, and then coming in second was Kelly Craft, and then third was Ryan Quarles, and Mike Harmon was fourth. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Well, the primary election is May 16th. The general election is November 7th. We'll have more on this new poll and reaction tonight at 6. Last night, dozens of volunteers worked to help the homeless population in Lexington, including veterans. Veterans Affairs Lexington Healthcare is offering up resources for homeless vets in need, especially during the winter. The entire VA is working together to accommodate veterans, whether it be for food, health care, transportation, or housing.
I think winter, you see quite a few veterans, but we're really out there. We're working hard to kind of make sure they're sheltered and they're getting the housing that they need.
Last year, VA Lexington Healthcare exceeded expectations. The goal was to help about 200 veterans, but they eclipsed that number. On Saturday, January 28th, it will be 6 months since devastating floods swept across the region, and one Eastern Kentucky native says she felt the need to feed the people of Knott County. But during the past 6 months, Kate Clemens says her journey of feeding these folks has turned into something much larger than that.
I've been the only place to get a hot meal in Knott County since August 27th, which is wild because when I started, I didn't work with any organization or any company. It was just God and just finding a different donor each night, matching it to a local vendor and distributing it.
Clemens says the need in Knott County is still great, and she will be there for as long as people need her help. Representative Adam Schiff has announced he is running for Senate. The California Democrat says he will seek Senator Dianne Feinstein's seat next year. Now, she's 89 years old and has yet to announce if she wants to serve another term. Schiff has chaired the House Intelligence Committee and served on the January 6th Select Committee. He was also House manager for former President Donald Trump's first impeachment trial. President Biden may visit Europe next month to mark the one-year anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Two senior administration officials say the president is considering a trip to Poland, a key NATO ally that houses thousands of U.S. troops. It's also where American service members train Ukrainian forces. An official says the president probably would not go to Ukraine due to security concerns. A presidential trip to Europe would reinforce that the U.S. and NATO stand united against Russia, which President Biden sought to drive home this week when he announced the U.S. would be joining an international coalition of allies to send heavy Western tanks to Ukraine. Former President Donald Trump can soon start posting again on his two largest social media accounts. Trump's Facebook and Instagram privileges were suspended after the January 6th assault on the Capitol, but parent company Meta says the accounts will be reinstated. CBS's Robert Costa looks at the decision to bring Trump back in spite of no apparent change in his online behavior.
Joe Biden is presiding over the most corrupt administration in American history.
Donald Trump hasn't shied away from social media, posting multiple times Wednesday to his own platform, Truth Social. But now his virtual audience could multiply. Meta has announced that Trump's Facebook and Instagram accounts will be restored, following a 2-year suspension in the wake of the deadly attack on the U.S. Capitol.
We love you. You're very special.
Wednesday, Nick Clegg, president of global affairs for Meta, said the former president would have to play by the rules, and there would be guardrails. But the social media company doesn't want to get in the way of open, public, and democratic debate.
We believe the American people should hear from, including on our apps and services, from those who want to lead them.
In another interview, Clegg was pressed on the risk of political violence caused by disinformation propagated by Trump, including election denial.
I'm not saying everything is perfect, no one is, but we're saying that if you compare it to the circumstances which led to his original suspension, we think the risk to public safety has materially and significantly receded.
But Trump hasn't demonstrated any significant changes in behavior since that ban, says Atlantic staff writer Charlie Warzel.
If you look at Donald Trump's conduct on his own platform, Truth Social, it is increasingly erratic. So to say that he's, learned any lessons, I think that that's wishful thinking.
The reinstatement comes just 2 months after Elon Musk lifted Trump's ban on Twitter, but the former president has yet to post anything new on that platform. And Trump is heading to South Carolina and New Hampshire this weekend, hoping to kickstart his Republican presidential campaign. Robert Costa, CBS News, Washington.
A former Trump official has taken the stand in a grand jury investigation surrounding 2020 election interference. Ken Cuccinelli, who served under Trump's Department of Homeland Security, was a notable figure in the former president's attempts to pursue election fraud claims. He was also a frequent presence in Trump's Oval Office and previously testified before the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol. The House Select Committee reported that Cuccinelli fielded an inquiry from Trump and his top advisors about the executive branch seizing voting machines after the election. But Cuccinelli says his department did not have that authority. His appearance suggests that prosecutors are continuing to look into high-level conversations within the Trump administration after the election. Coming up on First at 4, one streaming service is cracking down on password sharing.
And we're keeping the cold air around for a little while longer when the sun looks to come back out. That's in a few minutes.
WYMT News app offers alerts on breaking stories as they happen.